I'm with Dov Lipman from Innovation Africa. Now, Dov, what is Innovation Africa?
So Sivanya Ari, an Israeli woman, 9 years ago started this organization with a very clear goal: to bring electricity and water to people throughout African villages. We sit back and we enjoy the most basic elements. We have electricity, we have water. There are 600 million people in Africa, 600 million who don't have electricity, 300 million people who don't have clean water. That means limited education resources, that means minimal health services, and that means no economy what's to speak of, and no commerce at all. So Sivan had this idea of using Israeli technology, Israeli innovations, and to go village by village and to provide them with these services. And in 9 years, in 8 African countries, she has reached 162 villages, impacting the lives of over 1 million people who now have these most basic elements. I always say God created the world and gave the world all of the resources, and now it's our job to partner together and to help to tap into those resources. And we have the ability to do so today using these Israeli technologies and innovations, and that's exactly what we're doing. Over 1 million people impacted. 350,000 children have been vaccinated because they now have electricity. They now have power for refrigerators in their medical clinics. So we've accomplished a lot so far, thank God. We have a long way to go.
These are things that we just take for granted. I saw on your website it said some people have never even seen a light bulb.
Exactly right. You see students studying in 2018 by kerosene lamps. You see people walking 8 hours a day to try to find some kind of dirty water. And the water is all there in the aquifers all over Africa. So we use Israeli innovation in solar technology. We have water pumps to bring up clean water. We bring Israeli drip irrigation, so now they have farming. And just by using solar panels and some other innovative elements, we have lights for their schools, so they have the best teachers and they can study all day and all night. And they have medical centers, which have the most basic services, including electricity, and that also brings the greatest doctors. But just the thought that there are people who have never seen a light bulb before, have never touched clean water. People can go on our website, you can see some of the video footage, and you'll see the moment they get water. The excitement, something we do on a daily basis, just turn on a tap. They get that water, the excitement they feel, the hope that it gives them for a better future. It's something, nothing short of a joy to be part of this effort. It's pure good. And like I said before, I feel like we're connecting with God in this process of providing for the people on earth.
So this doesn't just change people's lives, it transforms people's lives, doesn't it?
Exactly. And we believe in a holistic approach. It's not, first of all, we come in and give them something, give them handouts. They have to take ownership of it. They have to have a solar committee. They have to show us how they're going to maintain the project. We have Israeli engineers teaching people there in the African villages to be the engineers. They develop businesses. So now they have education, long-term future. They have health services. They can live longer and have children in a healthy manner. They have farming. They have commerce. It's just a holistic approach which transforms a village. We're taught that if you save one life, you save the world. Here we are touching millions of people and literally saving worlds.
And something that Africa has a lot of is sun, isn't it?
That's right. And that's the other thing. Sometimes the source of the problem is also the solution, right? We see the sun as the problem that's creating the drought and creating the conditions in which they live, but the solution is right there. And all it takes is 2 solar panels to be able to provide electricity for a school, 2 solar panels for a medical center. And like you said, the sun itself provides that solution. The solar paneled pumps to bring up the water from the aquifers, it's all right there, right in front of us. Simple solutions to a difficult problem. And that's the work that Innovation Africa does.
How much does it cost to put a solar panel to bring up clean water?
So to bring up a water system for a few villages is $50,000. Think about this for a moment, though. $50,000 to provide water for numerous villages within a certain radius of the pump. Another $25,000 to provide them with drip irrigation so they have farms. $18,000 to give electricity to a school or a medical center. We actually have communities, churches, individual people who have come and said, we want to dedicate a school. Here's $18,000, provide electricity for a school, provide electricity for a medical center. And then it's named after them. There's a plaque there. They can come and be part of it. We have water systems that are named after communities as well, entire villages that are transformed by various foundations. We actually just had recently a Christian foundation in the United States that donated to transform an entire village. Water, farming, medical center, school, and they're literally taking an entire village, lifting it out of the dark, and giving it a whole new future.
Now, we're doing the interview here in an old hospital, and you're going into hospitals today and transforming the lives of people in hospitals as well.
That's the most amazing thing. These people give birth, women coming to give birth with no electricity. They have no refrigerators for the medications and vaccines. They don't have doctors coming to their medical centers because they don't have the most basic services. All it takes is the $18,000 and putting in that electricity in a medical center. Now all of a sudden they have refrigeration for vaccines, and all the children can be medicated and vaccinated, and the best doctors will come and treat them day and night. Literally a revolution happening. Something, again, which we take so for granted. You go to a hospital, you have services. They don't have that. Thank God we're able to partner together and make that happen.
How do the people feel who are receiving all these benefits?
It's the most amazing thing to see the joy on their faces when the light bulbs go on in a school the first time and the kids start cheering and dancing, when the water taps are turned on the first time and they just start dancing and chanting and just rubbing the clean water on their faces. Utter joy, utter thanks. By the way, they even offer their thanks to Israel. This is Israel fulfilling its mission, its biblical mission, to be a light unto the nations, and they feel that we're providing them with that blessing. And Genesis 12 teaches us those who bless Israel are blessed. Tremendous blessing all around for Israel, for the people who partner with us with the funding, for the people on the ground in Africa itself who actually receive the benefit of this Israeli innovation.
And God is blessing you as well by providing the finance to go out and actually do this, isn't he?
There's no doubt. Sivan started this 9 years ago. She had seen firsthand some of the poverty in Africa, and she raised money for 2 solar panels. That was her idea, just to start there. And here to see where we are 9 years later with this success, but not success on a prideful, selfish manner. Success in just touching the lives of other people and making it better. Like I said before, it's pure good, and I don't have a doubt that God is blessing the organization with success, but also blessing those who help the organization accomplish its mission.
And you're also able to track these systems as well, aren't you?
This is the most incredible part. There's an Israeli innovation, which is a remote monitoring system. We, at any time from our smartphones, can see every single village in all of these countries. How is the water flowing? How is the electricity flowing? If there's any problem, making sure the engineers go there right away to make sure there's no waste, there's no abuse of the system. That's, again, Israeli innovation to help us monitor and track it to see. We also follow up to make sure the villages follow through to maintain their projects. We don't want to see the money going to a project and then it's not actually fulfilling its role, its mission. So we're able to do that as well. And thank God, for the most part, village after village, 162 so far, are following through. We have a vision. In 2025, we want to have reached 1,000 villages, reaching millions and millions more. It's very doable as long as we have the right partners to help us accomplish that.
And you're also providing Israeli computers into schools as well.
So this opens up all kinds of opportunities for all kinds of Israeli innovation to go in and be used. We have dreams of using Israeli innovation not just in the schools, but also in the farming as well. There's all kinds of nuanced ways that we can help them get even more crops than they're getting right now. I mean, to see Africa, African desert areas, villages, remote villages, all of a sudden have lush farming and produce and crops and commerce. It's literally taking a community that had no hope and no possibility for a future and handing them the opportunity for a future. But like I said, they take ownership over it, and they can pass that on to the next generation as well.
And the irrigation system, the drip system, is an Israeli system, and it seems... I always think this seems such a simple idea, such a stupid idea, but it's what Israelis have provided and put out there. It's just a pipe that drips, really, isn't it?
That's right. The whole idea, the dream of taking the desert in Israel and making it bloom, something we've seen over the last 100 years in the land, and certainly the last 70 years in the state of Israel. That miracle, which came obviously through the blessing of God, but also through Israeli innovation to help partner with God in this. It seems so simple, and yet the world hasn't discovered it. There's all kinds of innovations that we're coming up with. And again, like I said, to see them trained and transform barren land into these beautiful crops. You can go onto our website and see pictures of what's happening there. It's nothing short of God's work.
Is this also helping and preserving Christian communities?
So here's an element which we didn't know when we started. But we started going village by village, and then all of a sudden people said to us, "Thank you for helping us remain Christian." And we're thinking to ourselves, what are they talking about? And then we found out that there are radical Islamic forces that go village by village, and they say, "We'll give you water. we'll give you electricity, but you must convert from Christianity to Islam. And sadly, these villages are coerced, and they do it. Here, we're coming in from Israel, providing them with all the needs the energy needs that they for the villages. And we're not asking anything in return. Of course, stay Christian, stay true to your faith. That's the Israeli mindset. And that's certainly the Judeo-Christian ethic and the value that we share together. And lo and behold, we find out that by bringing electricity and water to villages, they're able to stay true to their Christian faith, and we're actually preventing these forced conversions. That's another element of where the blessing comes in. You start doing one thing good, and all of a sudden you realize all the blessing, and that's why also I have no doubt that our partners that come together and help us, that they'll receive greater blessing as well, because they're helping Christians stay true to their faith.
How does Africa feel about Israel?
There's a transformation which is taking place. We see the communities, the people are thanking Israel. Thank you so much for this help. In Israel, which around the world is scorned, and people say that we're horrible and evil and negative. And we're the ones who are fulfilling this mission of being a light to the nations. We're going in and helping Africa. African governments are working together with us. We have a wonderful relationship with them. And this is not why we're doing the work that we do, but there's no doubt that a byproduct of it is changing hearts and minds in terms of Israel as well, and realizing all the good that Israel brings into the world and all the blessing that a Jewish state in the land of Israel can provide for the entire world.
And it actually can change Africa as well, because Israel has changed. It used to be like a barren land. When we read, we can see that things have changed now.
It's amazing. You go back to the Bible, and it says that the Jewish people will be exiled from the land of Israel. And it says straight out in Leviticus, in Deuteronomy, that the land will remain barren. It'll be desolate. The Hebrew word is shmama. Nothing will grow here. And sure enough, for 2,000 years, nothing grew here. Then you look at the prophets, and the prophets say, a time will come when that barren land will reflourish again. And for 2,000 years, people of faith around the world, I have no doubt, believed in those prophecies. You don't have to believe them anymore. They're happening in front of our eyes. The land of Israel is reflourishing. And what greater thanks to God for that miracle taking place can there be than taking all that we've learned from that process and helping others around the world as well. And therefore, the vision of a flourishing Africa, of an Africa filled with hope and a bursting economy, is not something which is foreign to us, because we've done that here in the land of Israel, and now we just want to transport that and share that with others around the world.
Why do you do what you do?
I was a member of Knesset when I first met Sivan Yaari, who is the CEO and founder of Innovation Africa. I was in the middle of a day of meetings of a finance committee about all kinds of things that aren't so important. And I met Sivan for just a few minutes. And I said, when she walked out of the room, I said, when I grow up, I want to be like her. Just doing pure good, to be human beings and say, it's not just for me. I want to share what I have with others. That's just the purest good there can be. There is a feeling of we're partnering with God in providing, and just seeing the looks on the faces of the people when they receive the water or they receive the electricity. That's the greatest blessing there can be. So we do it because we're here to do good.
And what's your prayer for Africa?
Prayer for Africa is that every single village, that we should be able to look back years from now and not have this crazy figure of 300 million people who haven't had clean water, where our blessing is, our prayer is that everybody has access to clean water, that everyone has access to electricity, that everyone has access to a future and an economy and raising their children according to the faith and the values that they believe in, with hope for the future. And that is our prayer for Africa. We believe that all people are created in God's image, as it says right at the beginning of Genesis. And we're here to try to be partners in that process. And we pray that every single human being around the world, and in this case we're focusing on Africa, has hope for a wonderful future, and that everyone can live wonderful lives.
And what's your website for people who'd like to know more about the project or even like to give to the project?
Absolutely. It's www.innoafrica.org. My personal email is dov@innoafrica.org. Be in touch with us. We accept donations of all shapes and sizes. Every single bit makes a difference. Some people might want to just contribute a little bit towards the project. Certainly it's tax deductible, certainly 501c3 in the United States and other places around the world that we can work with. But we're also looking for people who want to sponsor big. big projects. If someone has the wherewithal and $18,000 to know that you're providing electricity for a school and helping hundreds and hundreds of children have a future, to provide electricity for a medical center, $18,000, and you can be the person responsible for that and partnering with us to do this work of God. Those who can dream even bigger, water projects are $50,000, and you're providing for an entire few villages. So we're certainly calling to people to partner together with us. The money goes right to those projects. You will be seeing exactly how it happens. By the way, people can even come to Africa, turn on the light switch for the first time in that school or medical center. They can come to Africa, turn the spigot for the first time and have the water come out. We look for partners who believe in this mission, who believe in just doing good, who believe in just helping others, who believe in making a real difference in the world and doing God's work. And like you pointed out, just like we've been blessed, those who bless us are blessed, and hopefully all those who partner together with us, whether it's a smaller donation or taking on a full project, hopefully they'll receive that divine blessing as well.
Okay, Dov, thank you very much.
Thank you. God bless.